Welcome to your next best step. I'm Coach Janet J. Today, we are heading outside, or at least to a windowsill, because what your garden is teaching you might surprise you, even if nothing that you plant survives. There is a soil bacterium found in ordinary garden dirt that triggers serotonin release in your brain, which means that digging in the dirt may actually function like a natural mood booster. And that is just the beginning of what your garden has to teach you. A meta-analysis covering over 20 studies found that gardening is linked to lower depression, lower anxiety, and higher life satisfaction, even if you kill every plant. And the reason has less to do with the harvest and more to do with the dirt. I want to talk to two groups of women right now. Group one, you garden. You love it. You are already out there in May with your hands in the dirt, your coffee getting cold on the porch railing. This episode is going to validate something that you have always sensed, that what you are doing out there is healing you in ways you did not have words for. Group two, you have killed every plant you have ever touched. The succulents, the herbs, that one fern that someone swore was impossible to kill, you killed it. This episode is for you too, because what a garden teaches you about patience has very little to do with whether anything actually grows. Here's what I mean. We live in a world that rewards speed, fast results, instant feedback. You post something online and you can see within minutes whether people responded. You ordered something and it arrives tomorrow. Even our spiritual lives can start to feel like they should come with a tracking number. And then there is a garden. Garden does not care about your timeline. You plant the seed and then you wait. You water and then you wait. You check and nothing has happened. And then you wait some more. And if you are a gardener, you know that part of the wisdom is learning when to plant in the first place. Every region has its own rhythm. Here in Colorado, experienced gardeners will tell you not to plant before Mother's Day, because March and April are usually our snowiest months. Other areas have their own rules. Last frost dates, growing zones, soil temperature windows. The point is, a good gardener does not just plant whenever she feels ready. She pays attention to the season she is actually in. And that waiting, that paying attention to timing instead of forcing it, that is the lesson. James 5:7 says this, "Be patient, then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and the spring rains." Notice who James points to as the model of patience. A farmer, someone who has already done the work, who planted, who watered, and who now waits because the next part is not up to them. The rain comes when the rain comes. The crop yields when the crop yields. The Greek word for patience here is macrothromia. It literally means long-suffering or long-tempered. It is endurance with hope. It is the opposite of demanding instant results. And that is exactly what a garden requires. Here's where the science gets really interesting. A meta-analysis published in Preventative Medicine Reports covered 22 studies across the United States, Europe, and Asia, and found that gardening was associated with significant reductions in depression and anxiety, along with increases in life satisfaction and quality of life. A more recent umbrella review in 2024 confirmed those findings across 40 additional studies. The benefits held whether people were doing community gardening, home gardening, or structured horticultural therapy. And then there is the dirt itself. Researchers at the University of Bristol and the University of Colorado Boulder discovered a soil bacterium called Mycobacterium vaccae that activates neurons that produce serotonin, a brain chemical involved in mood regulation. When mice were exposed to this bacterium, they showed less anxiety and more resilience under stress. The lead researcher, Dr. Christopher Lowry, noticed that people who garden inhale these bacteria while digging and also encounter them during skin contact with soil. So when gardeners say digging in the dirt makes them feel better, there is a biological reason. Now, here is why this matters beyond the garden. Think of something in your life right now that you have planted but have not seen grow yet. Maybe it is a habit you have been trying to build, a relationship you have been investing in, a prayer you keep bringing to God without a clear answer. It is tempting to assume nothing is happening, that effort is wasted, that you should have seen results by now. A garden teaches you otherwise. Underground, in the dark, where you cannot see, roots are forming. Systems are building. Life is organizing itself in ways that are invisible on the surface. And that is often exactly what God is doing. Gardening touches every pillar of wellness, and most people do not even realize it. Physically, it gets you moving outdoors. The exposure to sunlight helps regulate your circadian rhythm. The soil bacteria we just talked about support your immune system and your mood. Mentally, gardening requires presence. You cannot rush a seed. That forced slowing down gives your brain a break from the constant mental churn of managing everything and everyone. Emotionally, there is something deeply grounding about nurturing something alive and about accepting that not everything survives. A garden teaches you that loss and growth coexist. Some things do not make it, and the garden keeps going. Spiritually, a garden is one of the most consistent metaphors God uses. He started the story in a garden. Jesus prayed in a garden. And the patience of waiting for someone to grow mirrors the patience of waiting on God, trusting that He is working in the seasons you cannot rush. Your next best step this week? Plant one thing, a seed, a starter herb, a pot of basil on your kitchen counter. If you already garden, spend 5 minutes out there this week and notice one thing that is growing without your help, something you did not plant or plan. Then ask God one question. What are you growing in me that I haven't noticed yet? Sit with that for a moment. You might be surprised what comes to mind. Here's what we covered. The research is clear. Gardening is good for your mental and physical health in ways that go all the way down to the bacteria in the soil. James reminds us that patience looks like a farmer, someone who has done the work and now trusts the timing. And whether your garden is thriving or you have managed to kill a cactus, the lesson is the same. Growth does not happen on your schedule. It happens in God's. On Monday, we're talking about something a lot of women carry but rarely name, the weight of being the one who mothers everyone, even when no one asked you to. That one's going to land differently depending on where you are in life right now, and I think it's worth hearing no matter what your main looks like. Follow or subscribe wherever you are listening or watching so that you do not miss an episode. I will see you Monday. Take your next best step.